Right then, tubbers, we are down in Somerset, where he talks funny and he drinks a lot of cider, if you get what I mean. I'm at a dairy which is just off junction 24 of the M5. I've done this run I think twice up to now. This could be the third, could be the fourth, can't remember. Anyway, this company I'm driving for, I covered a couple of weeks ago a gentleman that drove this truck. Not very well. He got something wrong with his chest. Yeah, so I covered him until he come back. He come back on Monday. Yeah, last Monday, and that was that for this particular piece of work. And this company that I'm working for today, they've got a big firm out of Tuxford, just off the A1 near Newark, and I've worked for them quite a number of occasions. I've taken stuff up and down the country for them since I passed my test, practically. Last week, about Wednesday, I got a phone call from the boss, and he said, "Where do you live?" And I told him. He went, "Oh, right." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, I've had this job come up. Are you interested?" I went, "Oh, right." Now, normally, at this stage of the conversation, I would say, well, thank you very much for the offer. I appreciate it, but I like what I'm doing. I love working for the agency. And yeah, just respectively decline, as has happened before. However, I always said, and I think I've said it somewhere on my channel, that if this particular company offered me a job, I would struggle to say no. And what happened was, I said, let me think about it for a little while. I'll speak to the missus and whatnot. And I called in on him to have a quick chat with him, and he said, "Oh, you know, there's nothing to think about, just sign the dotted line type thing," which made me chuckle. And I went off and did another job for a couple of days. I had to think about it, and I called him back on Friday, and I said, "Thank you for the job offer. I'd like to accept." So I'm now working for this company. I've got 3 weeks on the agency as payoff for stealing me, if you will, and then I'll be signed over to this company. Yeah, and I didn't take that decision lightly. Now, some of you may have started by passing your test, and you may well have struggled to find work. Let me put this back down. I don't know why I picked it up. You may have struggled to find work in January, February, which I wholeheartedly get, because rewind 12 months and I was in that same situation. I hadn't been on the road that long. I hadn't built up a rapport with one particular agency. So when January, February come down and the work falls flat on its backside, that's it. Everybody's fighting for the same work. So the idea of me getting to my class 1 was that there'd be more work in January or February, and B, I'd have room for my kettle. But yeah, so yeah, that was the idea. Now January and February, and March I suppose, has been slow. However, compared to last year, I've been rushed off my feet. I've been averaging 45 hours, yeah, which is, it's a full working week, isn't it, in most people's language, but in trucker terms, it's a short week. Is anything around 40 mark is a short week. So yeah, and I've been averaging around about 45 a week. What's been happening is I may have an extra day off a week, like I might not work Monday, you know, but then I'll be out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So yeah, that's what's been happening. And I spent, how long did I spend? I spent the past well, no, longer than that, because I worked for the same agency on Class 2. I spent a long while earning my reputation. And what I mean by when I say that is that I always turned up smart and dressed for the part. I ironed stuff. I didn't turn up in my jogging bottoms or my tracksuit bottoms with a stripe down the side, whatever. I was always on time. I was always polite and as helpful as I could be for the client. And whenever the agency rang up, no matter what stupid o'clock it was, I'd pick that phone up. And even if it was to say, no, bugger off, it's 4:30 in the morning, which I never did, I picked that phone up and they'd say, look, I've just had a job come on at such and such in Nottingham, any chance you can do it? Yeah, give me half an hour, get ready and I'll get on the road. So within an hour and a half I'd be there. And what happened over time is I became that person that my agency would go to when something went wrong, you know, because they know if they rung me up, I'd be there to help, yeah? And by doing that, you become that person they go to. Guess what? You're going to be the one that's always busy. That's just plain and simple. So if you've struggled the past couple of months, my heart goes out to you. I understand completely. Spend this next 12 months working your butt off, making sure you're that go-to guy. None of this, oh, I don't really like running that run, or it's a bit of an early start, or how many drops in a day? No. You do what comes your way. You take that money, right? Because all the other drivers out there that are doing that are saying, I don't, you know, I got specific needs, I don't want to drive for that company, I don't want to drive for that. I'm not driving Class 2, oh no, that's beneath me, no, right? You be that guy that your agency goes to, you'll, in effect, be taking their money off them. You will take it. They won't want it, you take it. And you will be busy. That is just simple fact of the matter. Now you can either take my advice or you can ignore me. But I will say this, I have spent many years working for agencies. I spent, must have been 15 years working for a catering agency. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this subject. When it comes to driving, I've got a lot to learn like anybody else that's just passed the test. But when it comes to agency, I know my onions. So yeah, I built a good reputation with my catering agency, and I've done the same with my agency. And my boss was kind enough to give me some nice words, because he rung me up when my new boss rung him up to say what was going to happen. So and he said I'd be missed type thing, you know what I mean, which was nice, because I've been with him from the start. He was a start-up company, you see, so we've been in together from the beginning. So yeah, that's the way forward with agency. You listen to that bit of advice I just gave you, you'll do all right next year. So be that person they go to. Take whatever comes your way, you know. Before you get to the cream, you've got to drink the milk, ain't you? You know what I mean? So some of it's sour. But yes, so it took me a lot of battling in my own mind to decide to take this job, but I decided to take this job not for the work that I'm doing now. I'm 44, and it's not the work I'm doing now that I want to do for the rest of my driving career. If the boss of this company turned around to me and said, yeah, I want you to work for this company until you retire, I'd have turned him down flat. But this company that I'm driving for now has a phenomenal reputation in our county or area, because they provide, I told my driving instructor about this. I keep in touch with him, and I said, oh, I've been offered a job from such and such. He went, great reputation, professional drivers. They're renowned for employing people for the professional skills, not just putting bums on seats. Now, some of you will understand exactly what I say when you're just putting bums on seats. Any old driver to get a load from A to B, and they take whatever rubbish comes with it. Well, this company, they don't accept that. So there we go. Yes, so this company got many strings to the bow. They do warehouse and storage. They've got lots and lots of warehouses which they lease out to businesses. That's one income stream for them. They also do the crane hire side of the business, which is a big part of the business. They've got from tiny little cranes for doing bits and bobs around tight building yards and stuff like that, to the really big stuff, and I mean the big mobile stuff, not the stationary stuff, but yeah, they do some, I think, as bigger cranes as they come on the mobile ones. So, and that brings me to the next part of their business, which is heavy and obscure loads. So they do, you see these big buildings going down the road, or big transformers, or fuel tanks, or silos, or big concrete bridge, big steel bridge, that type of thing, boats, trains, the whole gambit they run. And that is my interest. The technical side of this job is the bit that gets me excited. So I know I've got to, I'm trunking milk bottle tops. That's all they are, milk bottle tops, to a dairy. A company local to us makes them. They make anything plastic, yeah, that kind of stuff. And I know that if I've got to earn my stripes, so I'm going to spend the next couple of years doing what I can, keeping my nose as clean as possible, and I will make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, don't they? But I shall try as hard as I can, and that'll be my end game, is to move into that side of work. So whenever, like, somebody asks for, oh, do you want some extra work this weekend over at Tuxford, running, I don't know, they do a lot of the railway work, so you'll be taking big lengths of track. Yeah, I'll do it. Anything to get experience, I will accept, and that will be my focus over the next couple of years, and that's where I want to be. So that is why I said yes to this company. That's why I couldn't say no, and I didn't make that decision lightly. Some people love to have format in their life. Yeah, they love the organisation. They want to know where they're working, they want to know when they're working, they want to know how long they're working for, and what they're getting paid. That's it, and they're happy. So some people I'll be happy trunking for the rest of their lives. I'm not like that. I'm definitely a free spirit. I need to be challenged all the time, else I get bored. And I think long term this job will provide that. So there we go. And I know some of you won't understand what I'm talking about, but some of you will go, do you know what, I get you. And I've had one conversation with Hammy99 about this. He does the he moves the sound equipment around and whatnot. But I said, you must be a bit of a free spirit because you're doing gigs all the while and it's constantly changing, you know. He said, oh yeah, I couldn't do the same thing day in, day out like. So yeah, I know some of you will get that bit, you know what I mean. But yeah, and I've been given a truck. Now don't get excited, because this is why. This truck I'm in is a 2006 Daffy Duck. It's a 480, right? So it's plenty powerful enough. It's big enough, even though there's a big cover over the engine here, which it makes a pain in the backside getting about inside here. But this truck, when I bought it down a couple of weeks ago, was filthy. Inside was proper filthy, and the gentleman that drove it before me was a smoker. Now if you don't smoke, you'll understand that the smell of smoke's horrible. Stale cigarette smoke's horrible. So me and my son, we come up, I don't know why it cut off, but me and my son, we come up to the yard on Saturday, and I spent 3.5 hours cleaning this, and that's what you get. You can see it's got wooden dashboard and whatnot. It's of an era. You know what I mean? And look what we've got here. It's a manual, 4/4 with a splitter just there. And what that does, for those of you who don't know, that halves your gears. So it takes an 8-speed into a 16-speed. Yeah? Because what I'll tell you when that's useful. Say like you're going up an hill and you're in 8th gear and you're starting to labour. So you'll change down into 7th gear, but then the revs will be too high. So you'll change back into 8th gear, it'll start to die again. That half gear, click, clutch down, is just what you need as a split ratio. Perfect. And you can keep your momentum going. So when everybody else is going backwards on them big hills, you're flying up them. Plus, this truck does a true 57 miles per hour. Now I know that's 1 mile an hour over the speed restriction, right? Not the speed limit, the speed restriction, EU legislation. However, on the tachometer, it's when I'm doing 57 miles an hour, it's only showing I'm doing 55. So it'll do 58 mile an hour, somewhere around about there, but it sits comfortably at a true 57 miles an hour. Now you go, oh wow, 2-3 mile an hour difference. What's the biggie in that? A, it does it all the while because it pulls like a bleeding train. And B, you talk to any lorry driver and ask them, oh, by the way, I can make your truck go 3 mile an hour faster. They'd bite your arm off. Because I'm not a speed demon. Do you know what I mean? it makes life just a little bit easier, because you're not constantly coming up to wagons like the supermarkets run, where often they run at 50 miles an hour. You can get past them comfortably. You get out, you overtake them, you pull back in, it's safe. Brilliant. So, still on loads. Yeah, still unloading me. Yeah, so it's great for that. You know what I mean? There's no worries, nobody overtaking you. Just whoo, and it makes a difference. You imagine extra 3 miles every hour over 4.5 hour stint. Yeah. Then times that over a 9-hour stint. You're another 30 miles down the road or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're in a different county. So it does make a difference. Big difference. So yeah. So we've cleaned this up. Everything's got. That's where all the. When I first took this truck on, inside this ashtray was a load of old fuses, and it was all filthy in there. So I took all them fuses out, and some of them were blown, some of them weren't, which indicates there's a problem in this truck somewhere. But I sorted them out, put them in an old taco box, like, so they're all together, and all the bits like the add-on mirrors and fuses, bulbs, all that malarkey, it's all in there. Then I do believe I put my kettle up here. Yeah, kettle. My hard hat. How do you like my hard hat? Look here. I customised it. Do you like that? No, nobody's going to nick it. Yeah, so I've got my kettle up here, and a few bits and bobs up there. Sat nav box, look. They supplied it with a sat nav, and I can tell you, if you're thinking of buying a TomTom truck of 6,000, think again, because that Garmin is much better. It's totally different generation. So yeah, have a look at the Garmins before you spend your 300 quid. But yeah, that's a fleet sat nav, that is. It wouldn't have been cheap, but that was in it when I picked the keys up. And I put this on here, so it's nice and clean, and I got my bed in, because this job involves a couple of nights out a week, because they do run stuff up to Scotland, and they do stuff out of Lockerbie, which is a day run. It's a long day, but it's a day run. Anything north of that is overnighter, so I should be doing overnighter. So that'd be nice. I'd like to do some different runs. I've not been into Scotland yet. I have once, double band run, but it was dark and I didn't see nothing. So you'll get to see that. You'll get to see a bit more cab cooking, which will excite a few of you, because as you told me again and again and again, you'd like to see me do that. Well, when you've got your own truck, you've got your own stuff in it, and you can't do that as an agency driver. You'd need a bloody shopping trolley. So, but this truck is a, what is it, 2006? No. Yes, it's a 2006 truck, and outside it looks like it's been in demolition derby. The gentleman had a couple of accidents, whether, I don't know if they're his fault or not, but yeah, so it's got a new panel that's in primer on that corner. I can't show you outside, unfortunately. And on this side, on the door, he had it coming together with another truck on the motorway in a width restriction, so that's got a scuff down it. But I think I can get most of that out with T-cut, which I've got. I bought a load of cleaning stuff down here, look, all in a tray, and this thing smells lovely now. But when I took the job on, I was told that they were purchasing a load of 64 plate Scanias, and that they'd be coming over to us where I'm working out of. So yeah, I'd get one of them. So I've got this for, he said 2-3 months, but they're not MOT-ing it again, and the MOT is due in June. So we're nearly at the end of March now, aren't we? So yeah, 2 or 3 months and this is coming off the road and they're retiring it. So, but somebody will have a good truck here when they buy it. If they pay £3,000 for it, I wouldn't expect them to pay a penny more. But it's done nearly 1 million kilometres. In fact, today I think I'll push it into 1 million kilometres. Okay, I know I will. So that'd be nice to see it through to go to 1 million kilometres. I've never seen that on a truck before. I've seen high mileage, but I've never seen them go over. If they have been over, they're into 1200, whatever. So 1.2 million, 1.3 million or whatever. So yes, that's the current situation. We have a daily drive. Mr. Fox is a company driver. Can you believe it? And if I don't look too excited, I am, but I'm reserved. Because, as you know, I do like my freedom. I do like the agency work. So, but yeah, there's an end goal. Yeah, I've waffled on enough now. You'll be bored to tears now, but that you're up to speed. So that's the job done. So yeah, things will be changing on the Foxy channel with a new tech, new computer, new GoPro, a new job. Catch you later. Toodle!